Hi, I'm
Hey,
Cathures,
and I'm Shockburnt.
and we're with Perseid Labs.
That's
Get it
right.
right this time because my memory is terrible. Yeah, and we're just going to continue with Return to the Pit,
Return to the pit.
which has been really weird. Let me quickly open this. Yeah, so we'll open this, right? So page 105 is what I've written down, so that seems to be where we were, and that's where it's opened. Um, yeah, so we wanted to take the other thing, but it made us take the flashlight, I think.
Yeah, so last time we wanted to take the action figure. There's a flashlight, an action figure, and bunny ears. We already have bunny ears, but there is a flavor text for the bunny ears. We could read the flavor text for the bunny ears, but
Yeah, 2 seconds. Yep, sorry about that. Had to make sure things were tracking properly. It's just always a bloody nightmare. Yeah, so we tried to take the other thing. I can't remember what the other thing was because my
flashlight,
memory.
Freddy action figure, and bunny
Freddy,
ears.
yeah. So we wanted the Freddy action figure, but the book was like doesn't look like it works properly. Maybe it did. It just didn't have a prompt, but we couldn't be sure. So I'm just gonna go with flashlight.
Yep.
You all think the flashlight is actually a pretty cool prize for a place like this, and you pack it away in your backpack. Don't we already have one as well? Yeah, we do. So this is 2 flashlights, I guess? Or did we add that on? I don't know.
You added it on.
Right, I've added it on because it was Fazbear coin and the ears that we got when we started.
That's correct.
Right, so you all think the flashlight is actually a pretty cool prize for a place like this, and you pack it away in your backpack. The conversation turns to movies, but you keep glancing over to the corner looking at the rabbit. Seriously, you liked the Eternal Song? It was so boring,
I think
Mike is saying.
the Eternal Song was mentioned in.
Yeah, this one was definitely in it because we were like, is this real? And I don't think it is. Like, I think we looked it up and it doesn't exist.
I don't remember.
I think we did look it up and it
And I don't
wasn't.
remember if it was the game or the book. I don't know.
I don't know.
But it got mentioned before. This is a callback.
Yeah, definitely. Right. So, oh come on, it's good. You just have crap taste, right, Oz? Chip says. You hear your new nickname, but it doesn't fully register until he asks you again. Oh, yeah. Dude, says Mike. What? Chip is laughing. See, he agrees you have crap taste. Shoot, you hadn't actually heard the question. Now you feel bad. Well, what movies do you like then? Asked Mike, scoring in air hockey. The lights flash and there's the sound of the recorded cheering of a crowd. You realise this is a complicated question? You could say you like those old monster movies since those are even older than the 80s, but if you say that, they might think you're a huge nerd.
That's because you are a huge nerd,
Yeah, he
Oswald.
likes the monster movies. Just don't lie. Just say it. But you can't say any movies from after 1985, and it's not like you keep track of exact movie dates. You decide to take a swing and hope you're right. E.T.? Dude, that's like from 3 years ago. You need to seriously get out more. Do they not have movie theaters where you're from?
Just ask what came out recently. That's what I would do. I'd be like,
Also, again,
what all's come out recently? And they would be like, I don't know, like they're like Sonic 3, and I mean, obviously they wouldn't, but they
Sonic 3.
Wicked, and you'd be like, oh, I saw Wicked, and I liked that one. You know,
I'd be like,
have a conversation.
I'd be like,
man.
if you like Wicked more than Sonic 3, there's something wrong with you. E.T. Yeah, so do they have movie theaters where you're from? Sure they do. They also have Netflix and YouTube and TikTok. Oh god, don't mention TikTok. But you can't tell them that, of course. It's still a good movie, you say quietly. You're embarrassed and so used to being bullied for your taste, you can feel your cheeks turning red. Yeah, it totally is, but let's make a plan to see a new movie together so we can get you into the future, says Chip with a smile.
Like Spielberg is a godly director and you don't even know. Has Jurassic Park happened yet? I don't think it has.
I don't know. I can't remember when Jurassic Park came out.
I think it's the 90s, right? 1990? Something like that.
Yeah, I think so. You look at him, no mean comment, just quick teasing and then a plan to hang out more. You're not used to this. You wish you could actually go to a movie theatre with these guys. Well, maybe you can. You don't actually know if you're able to leave the arcade or not. There's a thought. Could you explore the whole 1985 version of your town? According to the game, according to the game, he can. I don't know. Hold on, I'm backwards. It's gonna annoy me because I'm backwards. Let's see.
Let's commit crimes and then escape to the future. It would be the perfect crime. They'll be like, who committed this? Who left these fingerprints? And you're like, I don't exist.
Yeah, that's better. Sorry, it just distracts the hell out of me if I'm not correctly aligned, and it will be the same for the entire video. Yeah. Yeah. So he can go into the 1985 version of his town because you can just leave and they're in the game and he's there. And that raises questions like, I thought we were in a memory bubble. How can you go? I don't know.
In the memory bubble, that's a whole
Yeah,
world,
it's a
right? Like,
world. Yeah,
for
but that's
instance,
what I'm saying. But the
Kai
implication was like it was a memory, but now it's like it's more than that. It's like a contained world, like an AU.
Kai in the which one was Kai in? Was it Tiger Rock? Tiger Rock. He goes like he
Yeah,
thinks he
yeah.
leaves the VR and he goes back to his school and his friends and his family and basically is able to go pretty much everywhere. And the VR world just simulated all of it. So yeah, you can definitely within the memory go on a world tour and then be like, I would never left. That's the magic of
Like to a big
VR
city
video
like New
games, you know.
York or LA, could you see what the whole world was like in
Yeah.
1985? This could be really weird. The like Oswald stops 9/11 or something like.
Well, in the you could go back and stop it within the game world, but again, it doesn't do anything to like the real
Yeah, but
world.
if he's there forever, then I
But
don't know.
yes, you can he could go back and change the timeline for his bubble.
Yeah.
Yeah. He becomes like the president's aide or something. That's the whole, you know.
Yeah. Could you see what the whole world was like in 1985, and could you do it all and still be back at Jeff's in time for Dad to pick you up?
Yes.
The possibilities are kind of endless. Your mind is seriously blown. You could explore in the past and the present, or you suppose Chip and Mike's future.
Yay.
Yeah, he meets them when they're like middle aged.
Aw.
Into the future, you say with a bit of a smile. If only they knew. Okay, I'm scoping out the scene. I've got tokens on 3 games now. One of them has to be free. Be right back, says Chip. Yeah, I'll grab drinks. Oz, asked Mike. I'm good. And you really are. Better than good. For the first time in a long time, you feel like you actually belong. You lean against the air hockey table and look over at the rabbit. It's still staring at you. You're feeling pretty awesome now, pretty up for anything. Suddenly it raises a hand and crooks its finger at you in that come here kind of motion. You look over your shoulder. Is it signaling you? It looks like it. Super
Hell
weird.
yeah.
He's like,
William wants us to go do something fun again.
yeah. I'm
William.
like, no, don't.
Yeah, and I think so again, and that's just part of this whole like premise, which has been like part of I think all the games recently, which is that he thinks he's entered a new world by going into the ball pit, and he has that's a world free of consequences, and when he leaves the ball pit, he's back in the real world again, and we've seen time and time again that isn't true. So probably the world outside the ball pit also, false world. Probably he's in the ball pit. He's always been in the ball pit. He can go in and out, but like that was VIP, right? Like once you put on the helmet,
Yeah.
you
You
can
can't really leave it. There's some
you
sort
can
of.
put on the helmet again while
Yeah.
you're in the helmet,
Yeah, you can go in like
and
Inception.
then take the helmet off, but you
I'm like,
never
Scott, why is it all so confusing?
take the helmet off the final time.
So we're not following the rabbit because I feel like it would just take us into that branch that we were in before.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like,
Sure.
I mean, we can, but I feel like it would just be the same branch where we end up dead anyway.
Okay, we could just see which one looks like a life path and which one looks like an alt path, I guess. We've got to follow the rabbit at some point, right? Like in the story, we do go with the rabbit, but I guess there must be a time and a place.
I mean, we can see. Let's see. All right, okay. You walk over to the rabbit. You feel a little lightheaded now, almost like you're walking in a dream. All the kids making noise around you kind of vanishes in your mind, and your only focus is on the weird rabbit mascot guy. The dead eyes stay on you the whole time. You're drawn to them even as they seem more soulless as you get closer.
Deadlights from It.
It's all so strange. Oh my god, it is, isn't it?
Uh-huh.
Hi, you say when you arrive. The rabbit doesn't say anything back. What a weird mascot. So you're a rabbit, huh? It's a pretty stupid thing to say. Yeah, so I think maybe we did do this. I don't know.
That does seem...
Because I remember being like, so you're a rabbit is a really rude thing to say to a rabbit. Because like it could be a hare like B. And then you're like, I'm not a rabbit. It wants me to follow. The rabbit turns quickly, too quickly for a normal person in a clunky mascot costume. It lunges at you in some kind of attack, opening its mouth wide and revealing sharp, spiky teeth. Do you have a flashlight?
So it still has the monstrous teeth. We do have a flashlight.
Yeah, we'll blind it, I guess. Instinct takes over and washes away any of that weird empty feeling. You're alert and you brandish the only thing you've got that's close to a weapon, the flashlight. You turn it on and shine it directly at the rabbit's face. You expect it to raise its arms to shield itself from light or stumble a bit in the brightness. What you don't expect is for it to fall backwards, hit its head, and start to convulse.
So this is interesting. I don't know. It blurred the head
Its whole
hitting.
body starts shaking like there's an earthquake. It staggers and stumbles and falls. So it's like the spring locks go off.
I guess so.
Because that's the
Normally,
body shaking,
so
but it's like
when you do it to Glamrock Freddy or any of the animatronics, they do convulse. They have a problem with the flashlights. The animatronics have a problem with the flashlights.
yeah.
But there's a blurriness here because he falls back and hits his head, and then he convulses. So I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah. You should run, but you stand there instead, perfectly still, waiting for the rabbit's next move. It lies there lifeless, and that's when you see red spreading across the
You did set off the spring locks.
You realise what has happened? It's been impaled on something. You don't waste another moment. You turn as fast as you can and run away. You rush through the door back out of the restaurant, and your senses are assaulted by all the noise and lights. What was once a pleasant, exciting atmosphere now feels chaotic and disturbing. You don't bother to look for Chip or Mike. You have only one goal: to get back to your time, to boring Jeff's, to boring Dad, to your boring life. Oh man, boring sounds amazing just about now. You race across the restaurant to the ball pit, but it's gone. It's like it never existed.
That's weird.
So you kill him and the ball pit
rabbit
goes away.
Is the ball pit?
The rabbit is the ball pit. Party area and a group of little kids celebrating a birthday at a table. There is cake and plates and the kids are all wearing party hats. You wheel around. Where is it? It has to be somewhere, anywhere, but you can't see it. You're trapped in 1985 forever.
What?
So like that's the kids. That's the dead kids, I guess, at the party.
And its place is a small party. So the ball pit's gone. The ball pit is the party.
The ball pit.
The ball pit is happiest day, right?
Yeah, like they're all wearing party hats and yeah, I guess. I'm like, can't do the game theory face. Can't do it.
It's the other hand.
Is it my other hand? Is it this one that works?
Yeah.
Sometimes. No, I can't do it. I need to get my thumb to work. Thumb, why have you betrayed me? Thumb is mapped to my finger. There we go. I'm like, God, it's such a fight to do anything. Like, this is my fingers.
That's it. That's right.
Well, like that?
Yeah. That looks right.
Oh, no.
No, it hates that.
No, it hates that. It's like, no map, Pat.
Anyway.
No copyright infringement. Yeah. Yeah, that's weird. That's definitely weird. It sucks that you can't just go back. Oh, wait, we can. Back to 107. Right, so if you don't have a flashlight, what happens? Let's see. And they didn't even write a thing to, like, it chomps your head off. Game over.
The bite of 1985.
Yeah.
Of 85.
Right. So let's not follow him. You hang with Chip and Mike a bit longer. They still want to talk movies, and you make a mental note of all of them so you can watch them at home when you get a chance. Eventually, they have to leave, and even though you feel like you could just hang out at Freddy's forever, you wait until they're gone and then head over to the ball pit. Sure enough, you pop back out in your own time, and just in time too, since Dad arrives a few minutes early.
It's also weird because we know the ball pit is Eleanor's blood, and Eleanor's origin stories are a bit mysterious. It says it's like, we don't know why Eleanor was created.
Yeah.
Like, or they're like something about the events.
We don't really know what Eleanor even is the problem, I think, a lot of the time. Like,
I mean, she has the same name as the Ella doll, kind of, like and she looks like Baby. People are mad about that, but she does. She has the same name and she looks like Baby. So
yeah.
I don't know if it's related to, but see, like Charlie happened in 1983. Don't know.
Sure enough, you pop back out in your own time, and just in time too, since Dad arrives a few minutes early. You wonder if Jeff's noticed you've been using the ball pit. He probably doesn't care. He probably forgets it even exists. Like Henry. Henry's like, ball pit? Son?
He's like, there's like a murder back there? And Henry's like, that doesn't sound right.
Yeah.
He's like, you mean my super cute rabbit husband is back there?
Yeah.
Everybody's like,
Dad, you say as he drives down Main Street, was there ever another restaurant where Jeff's is now? You're trying to be all cool about it. You can't imagine your dad would be particularly suspicious of anything of this question. But he furrows his eyebrows and this expression passes across his face like a cloud floating across the sun. Yeah, I guess, he says. Suddenly he seems super focused on the empty road. Yeah, someone mentioned something about a Freddy's arcade thing from like way back in the 80s. Dad takes in a deep breath, then he says, yeah. In 1985, you were probably close to my age. Did you ever go to the arcade there? Why is Dad, who loves to talk so much, now suddenly super clammed up about everything? I liked arcades. I don't know if I went in 1985. It closed around then, I think. So yeah, I don't know. Let's talk about what we want for dinner.
It is interesting that we never run into Oswald's dad.
Yeah, that's what I always wondered. I was like, where is he? Is that is it again that weird like William did this thing? You know what I mean?
Oh,
Like he's never
yeah.
present. Like if he was there, it would kind of absolve him of that bloody sort of did he do this kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but he's like, I don't want to talk about this.
Mm-hmm. Where were you? I was haunting a rabbit, you know.
Yeah, like Mike being like, did you ever go to Freddy's? Like, Dad,
In
what do you remember?
1985?
And he's like, no, I don't remember anything, and you can't prove anything. You'd have to take me to court, and even then you would lose. And he's like, whoa, okay, Dad. The subject was officially changed, but you feel strange now. Why is Dad being all weird about it? You're pretty sure the arcade wasn't closed in 1985 because you were just playing games there. Maybe he's talking about a different restaurant? You'll ask Chip and Mike about it tomorrow. Of course, time being relative means it takes forever for tomorrow to come because you want it so much. But it finally does, and you're now back at Jeff's with your usual slice. He walks out of the kitchen and you're back up on your feet, but you pause. You still feel weird about Dad's behaviour yesterday. Maybe you shouldn't go into the pit this time? But you have questions for your new friends, and also it's just so nice to go to the arcade and have fun. So Dad must have made a mistake, and anyway, he's always a bit weird. If you go back into the pit, touch here. Dad might be weird, but something tells you maybe it's best to avoid the pit today. If you decide against going into it, touch here. Right, so what page is this? 39. So, are we going in or not? If we don't do it, do we, like, drift apart or whatever? Is that what happens, do you think?
What is with that ball? That is not a ball pit.
I know
by
they
any
do, like, they were like,
stretch
I'm drawing, like,
of the
3 balls.
examiner's imagination. What do you mean there's only 5 balls there?
It makes the whole story a bit different. They, like, him, like, jumping in to, like, hide in, like, 3 balls. He's like, no one can see me here.
You should post that. What the heck?
The empty ball pit.
What? That's. I mean, is it like a metaphor? Like, are the kids the balls?
Are the kids the balls?
You know.
There's like 4 of them.
I mean.
There, I saved the ball pit for later.
No.
So are we getting into the tiny empty ball pit or are we not? I'm like.
Does it? Sorry, I zoned out for a second. Does it describe them as empty? Does it describe it as an empty pit?
No, it doesn't. It's just like Jeff's, maybe you shouldn't go into the pit. It doesn't say it's empty, that's just how they do it.
Why? Who? Under what circumstances? Who says to you?
Budgets are tight. Jeff's a cheapskate.
Draw a ball pit and you draw like...
They're like, oh fuck it, it's fine.
2 balls in there.
So like 1, 2.
Oswald's
3,
like
4,
looks at the 2 balls
5.
like these are both disgusting.
But these are balls as well. Look, like these things.
Well, yeah.
So do these count?
No.
Are these also balls?
Sorry, I can't get over
It's
this.
also skidding along the floor. Look, yeah.
Oh no!
It's as if someone's kicked it. They're just like, fuck this.
I also like how
ball
it's
pit.
not a large ball pit at all.
It's a box
it's like
pit.
It's bigger.
Amazon box
it's
pit.
It's like smaller than the wading pool, the kiddie pool.
So are we going in the tiny one or not? I think if we don't, I want to see what happens. Do we just get
go see what happens if we don't. Obviously, we're probably gonna die.
You walk past. Yeah, this is the one where you become estranged or whatever. Yeah, fuck that.
Whatever.
You can go back. This is the button here.
Oh, good.
Go back into the pit. Yeah, what the fuck ever. You're expecting all the sounds you've grown to use. I hate this story. I love this story. I hate this story. I love this story, but I've seen it like 20 times and I'm like, can we do something different? I like the bit where the things were different, but to get there I'm like, please help me. You're expecting all the sounds you've grown used to when you emerge into 1985. What you're not expecting is noise. Not just any noise, but chaotic, panicked, horrifying noise, like a high-pitched alarm going off right by your ear. Blinding you with a pain that's both physical, but also something deeply, profoundly in your gut. That sounds like the discs. Stop getting distracted. Turn
Yep.
your brain on.
Yep.
But that sounds like the audio discs. Well, they make you sick.
Yes.
See it? Because like Charlie's like, I'm fine, I'm a robot, but everybody else is like whenever they like get subjected to like audio discs. That just a random thought. The screams hit you first, blood curdling and like something at a horror movie. The sound comes from all directions as your eyes focus on the chaos in front of you. No one is playing games, no one's eating food, everyone is running around, calling out names, frantic in their searching
Now it's
for
our
something
time.
or someone.
This sounds right. This is when we follow the rabbit. They're like, don't go back there before then because the party's not ready.
There's a crowd building at the exit, and everyone is trying. Oh God, is trying to get out, but making it impossible by pushing and shoving.
No.
That's real bad. Like there was a nightclub fire where that happened, and
That's
it was
how,
real bad.
That's how crushing incidents happen.
Yeah. Anywhere where there's like a bottleneck, like
When people,
yeah.
a lot of time, that's a long study of things, but a lot of times when people say that there was a stampede or people
Yeah.
got trampled, like none of that really happens. A lot
No.
of what really happens is there's like the capacity for people is too much, or there's a bottleneck of people that pile up, and when people like are in
They take on the properties of water. They
Yeah.
say it's like the crowd starts to kind of ebb and flow, and it's really scary. Like I've been in it once, and it wasn't like a crush situation, but it was like at the front of a big concert, like a Metallica concert, and I was right at the very front. And when the crowd started moving, I got picked up off my feet, and the whole crowd was going like this, and I was just kind of tiptoe, like staggering side to side, and you can't do anything about it. Like, and it was really scary. And a crush is like that times 10, where you can't move. So yeah, I'm like, nope.
And it's not an individual's actions, like
No.
at that point, like because
It's
like the people at the far
and the design of the building.
Yeah. People way far back can be like trying to push through to get ahead, and that motion carries through to people that are already at capacity, like at the front.
Yeah.
So there's like,
it's really scary. So for me, like just that line, all those people at the entrance, I was like, that's a horror moment. You know, I was like, oh God, that's like.
That's why they've made a lot of changes to like how doors are designed.
Fire doors, where fire doors, you have the push bar. That means if you get pushed against it, the doors open.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas you in the past, you might have had to pull them in, and if you've got a crowd, you can't open the door in the way. You know, that's it. So push bars are mandatory because you have to get out. But yeah.
Bit of a grim topic. But,
grim topic, but it's a horror book, and they are talking about people in a weird crush thing that's not lethal, but still, that's a scary thing and a dangerous thing.
Mm-hmm.
A small child is a sobbing, snotty mess next to you in the ball pit, just sitting there screaming his
in
little
that
lungs
empty
out.
ball pit.
He's scooped up by his man when they take all the balls. He doesn't even seem to notice you. Where are Chip and Mike when what's going on? You step out of the pit stunned. It's funny, the little child that's crying next to you is a crying child. His mum comes and she's like, come on.
No, that sounds fake. Crying child's mom never turns up. She doesn't care.
The reason why I'm saying that is because for some bloody reason in the week before there was a kid that was crying and everybody was like, well, that's clearly the crying child then. That's the crying child there because he's crying. Well, so this kid. You know what I mean? Just as much.
Yeah.
But yeah, where are Chip and Mike and what's going on? You step out of the pit stunned. Everyone around you is moving so quickly it's like you're moving in slow motion. Everything's a whirl of sound and movement. Everything except one thing. One person. One thing. The person in the yellow rabbit mascot costume is standing in the corner like always, perfectly still. The only stillness in the whole room. Even the animatronic band is still playing their happy little song.
Try throwing one of the
with
three
their
balls
hysteria and screaming in the room just amps up their creep factor by 1,000. But not the yellow rabbit. It stands, it stares. Then it motions to you like it did yesterday. Maybe he knows what's going on. Maybe all this time he's had the answers you've been looking for.
Oh
If
yeah,
you follow
probably.
him, no, this is crazy. You will not enter this nightmare. This isn't your time to go. And now you're thinking that maybe this place did shut down in 1985.
William, tell us what Henry's last name is.
That maybe Dad, I know, please.
Ask him some real questions, Oswald.
Maybe Dad's weird reaction makes a lot of sense now. If something horrifying
This is a lot in
the chaos happened.
The
Then if you don't follow him, he's like,
oh, he looks charming. He looks like he's asking us for a dance.
He's like, come. I can't do that flat thing. I can. Can I? I don't know. There are limitations.
Now is the time when we're supposed to follow him, so I guess we can.
He's like,
yeah.
Dinner. Yeah. He does
I
not
guess we
look
can
right.
not follow him. Oswald won't ask him the questions
He
that we
does
want to
not
ask.
look right. Whoever drew this was
William,
just
how many
making it
kids
up.
do you have and what are their names?
Where's your daddy and what does he do? Right, so I guess we have to follow him, but we should probably not follow him to see what happens first, since I think following him is the right answer. Right,
William, what's your wife's
follow.
name? William.
You quickly dive into the pit of 3 balls and decide to
Yeah.
count to about 100. Then you pop up and
We've hidden
thankfully you're back where
successfully.
you started. Alright, so this is... Yeah, this is the one where he pulls you in and you live in the ball pit forever. So,
Okay,
happy ending.
hug.
Yeah, forever hug. Right, so
He
no
gives us a
forever hug.
So we've got to go dance.
You walk carefully across to the rabbit, partially in order to avoid the panicked people tearing about the place like chickens with their heads cut off, and also partially because you have this weird feeling, this pull in your gut, like you're drawn to the rabbit. He's like, this is my time. This hole is made for me. He's like, dur, dur, dur.
It's like we've done this
like
a billion
it's more
times
than
before.
just curiosity. It's a need to understand. And somehow the rabbit has answers. It's always had the answers.
Yes. Please ask it questions,
I know. What's
Oswald.
Henry's surname? What was in the box? Like, there's a whole bunch of stuff we could ask. Like, did you know Edwin? Do you know a guy called Edwin? Was he a loser that you worked with? Did they just make him up? Do you know Burn Trap?
Anything. We
He'd
could
be
ask
like,
him
it's not
anything.
called Burn Trap. He's like, it's not called that. Up close, the fur of the costume is even more matted and ratty than from afar. A stale smell wafts over to you, not just of years and years of body odour collecting in the fabric,
Wow.
but something more sinister. His pungent aroma is canon. God, he's like, it's not just that, it's a lot of other shit.
No.
God damn.
That's specific. Yikes.
I was worried that the pit monster wouldn't smell like rancid BO, but thanks for clearing that up, Book. That's...
It's like, wow, it sure smells like a person's been in that suit a lot and sweated in it so much. And
something more sinister. What is more sinister than years of body odor? No, that's ridiculous.
Evil.
Yeah, he's like, I can smell evil in this costume.
Yeah, that's what there's
like,
evil has a smell.
Agony smells bad.
Yeah.
It smells bad in a way that's different than human smells.
Yeah,
like
different than bodies, different from even
like
dead.
Yeah, even like dead things. It's different because it smells like
evil.
Smells like decomposition
smells like
and evil
spirit.
Yeah. No, that's ridiculous. It's just the smell of an unwashed mascot costume, and yet the rabbit's eyes are cold and dead, and yet somehow they stare at you. You try and see the man in the suit. You look into the dark void of the rabbit's
we're
open
just
mouth,
looking right
but
in
you're
there.
greeted with simply pitch blackness.
Opening it like William time for a dental.
The person is the rabbit. I don't have anything inside me. Look.
Okay, this clears up a little bit more about the identity, right? The rabbit is the person is the rabbit.
You should leave. William would be like, I'm a furry. I'm a real anthro.
Okay.
He's like, look. He's like, you can touch me and I'm real. And then
he's
still got
wish
spring
came
locks.
true, like a horrible Pinocchio story.
Yeah, but he's still got spring locks in there. He's like, one downside, one. You should really go back into the pit, but as the rabbit turns to lead you through the back door, you follow it. You have a choice, or do you?
Not really. We've tried other things.
I know we don't have a choice. There's very little choice in this book. It's either like, do this or die. Do this or die. Do this or die. You follow down a hallway, one of those industrial spaces that are so glaringly opposite of the fun and careful design of the public space. Just a hall of grey, walls, ceiling, floors. There's an odd poster on the wall. Some with public health and safety in mind, some with Freddy's band on them advertising special birthday parties. So this is like off floor. This is an employee area because it's grey. You know what I mean? It's not a public space.
So why does it have advertising?
But it still has advertisements for birthday parties.
I think those are haunted.
William walking down the hallway and he's like, for fuck's sake, these stupid employees. I told them to put up the notices and they put them up in the employee hallway.
Trying to get a hold of employee kids.
Yeah, he's like, any of you guys want the birthday party package? You find the public health and safety ones way more enticing somehow. You come to another grey door. The rabbit opens it, then stands back. It wants you to go first. This feels wrong somehow, and yet
So
you go
right.
first. Your eyes adjust to the darkness. You're in a storage room. What's so interesting about that? You don't see the kids initially. The first thing you see is the party hats. They're really hammering at home with the party hats in this. They're like, party hats, party hats. You see their colourful pointy shapes and all the darkness and all the grey, and they draw you further into the room. See, like the party hats draw you into the room. Like,
He made the birthday party room is also grey? Whose
yeah,
decision was this?
it's
It is your birthday.
it is your birthday. Yeah, the like happy birthday child.
The party hats are the only bit of flair.
Maybe the grey room is for the like discount birthday packages. You come in and it's like this is to set your expectations for the rest of your adult life. You have the grey birthday party with the cake that looks nice that you go to the supermarket, but you eat it and it just doesn't really taste
it's
like
just
anything.
white cake. There's nothing on it. There's no decorations.
Yeah,
maybe
it might just be happy birthday child on it or something, like a generic thing. Yeah, you get the basic party hats as well. Isn't there like different tiers of party hats in the FNAF 6 as well? There is, because those crap ones, that you get at the start.
Yeah.
2 seconds. I'm like, no, I need to check because I feel like yeah, there's just crap part. Yeah, look, there's your default. There's your poor kids party pack.
Oh.
And that's the richer ones.
Okay.
Yeah. So there is a budget party pack. Do they have crappy party hats as well? There's the good party hats.
Okay.
Look at them. Those are stunning.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't even know if like poor kids get party hats. I don't think they do. Oh, do they? No, I don't think so. I think it is just literally these guys that you get. I think that's it. Whereas the fancy party pack has like this.
All right. I see the vision.
Yeah. So the grey room just has white paper plates in it, I guess.
William's like, this needs a little glitz and glam.
He's like, but only for those willing to pay for it.
He's like, these kids got a free party and we're not giving them the non-grey room.
Yeah, like, I want a coupon. I get a birthday party. He's like, here's the grey back room with like the white party plates. He's like, come back when you have money, kids. That's our first lesson in capitalism.
Henry's like, it's educational.
Henry's like, this will prepare you for the rest of your life's disappointments. A few more steps in, and that's when you see them. The kids wearing the hats, sitting there on the floor, propped up, lifeless like dolls. Except they aren't dolls. They're human kids, and they're all dead. Henry needs that differentiation. He's like, human kids, dolls. He's like,
Same thing if with enough wishing.
Yeah. You are a toy! He's like shouts at like Charlie. The horror washes over you, making you lightheaded and dizzy Kong. You want to throw up, you want to scream, you need to run.
Okay.
If you charge past the rabbit out of the room, see an exit door to your right. If you charge past the rabbit out of the room and back into the restaurant to get to the ball pit as fast as possible. If you charge past the rabbit out of the room and then slow down when you're back in the restaurant. No, 2 of these are going to kill you and the other one isn't, and you have to do all of them.
Well, we know what we do. We know, right?
He runs into the ball pit.
He goes to the ball pit. That's correct. So we'll check out the exit door and the slow down.
You race towards the back door as fast as your feet can carry you and fly through it. The harsh light of day blinds you for a moment, but you blink hard several times and are able to acclimate to the brightness. You look around, the door is slammed shut with a bang behind you.
It's later,
now
Freddy.
You're stuck in 1985. This gives you a chance to find your bearings, though you can't take too long since the rabbit can bust out of there at any moment, you just know it. You're in an alley that leads onto Main Street. There's a dumpster and other doors to the buildings on each side. The brick walls on either side are tagged with graffiti. And someone has drawn a one-eyed fox with a hook for a hand. He looks a bit like a pirate.
Foxy wasn't. We haven't seen anything of Foxy yet, right?
Yeah,
all the posters, all the characters we've seen, haven't seen Foxy.
Yeah,
hey.
So someone's drawn him. There's a very specific smell of urine in the air. He's in the piss alley.
Why does Scott every time we go to the bathroom and he's like, you can imagine what the bathroom smells like,
piss alley.
And I'm like, yeah, yes. And he's like, this alley. The smell of pee.
Yeah.
Just
he's like, look, it's Foxy and also piss. Okay.
Sure.
And something else, a sound. You strain to hear it. It sounds like
It
someone
better
is
not be
calling
someone
out to you.
peeing.
It's so
Okay.
faint and hard to hear, but you think it sounds very much like a kid, like a little girl. You strain harder to
Oh.
listen. Please help me. It's so
Ah.
faint and quiet, but now you understand that you can hear it clearly. You look over your shoulder, anticipating a rabbit attack from that door at any moment. Do you really have time to find and help this girl? Yes. You need
Yeah.
to know who the hell this is.
Yeah. Ditch her.
No, just run away. I'm like, no, we need to go find her. You listen hard to follow the sound of the girl crying for help. You walk slowly, your head tilted a little to aim your ear, trying to push out all other distractions and just focus on your sense of
We should
hearing.
have put on our bunny ears
I already
to
have
help
my
us hear better.
I have my bunny ears on.
But no, but I
I thought
mean,
you meant
Oswald.
in real life. I was like,
No,
what would that be?
no.
What would the point in that?
Oswald. You have.
I do have bunny ears,
Yeah.
but it'd be pointless.
Yeah.
I've got these ones. Like, I just think about rabbit ears a lot. Yeah. Please help me. There it is, a little louder now, just a little further up the alley. You make your way to a pair of wooden doors that lead down into some kind of
Wood.
cellar. There doesn't appear to be a lock on them. Still, with your luck, they'll be impossible to open. You have to bend over and pull each door up with both hands. It's an awkward angle as gravity's fighting you, and you've never been particularly strong. But the first door actually comes up a bit with your tug, and that small accomplishment makes you want to pull harder and harder. You pull the door up enough that gravity grabs it from the other side and it falls open hard.
In a basement?
See, this is a Scott paragraph if ever I read it, because my brain blanked out here. Try to imagine this. Like, Scott over describes locations, which is fine. You know, he imagines them with real clarity. My brain can't render them with real clarity. I was like, what? Doors sticking? Doors
No,
what?
it's a wooden,
Cellar?
it's a cellar door. So it's you know,
Yeah, like those ones like in a pub where you put stuff in the ground.
yeah, where there's like a basement and then a couple of wooden doors, and so we're going down
Yeah.
beneath the
Yeah,
restaurant.
you're going down for sure because it says, yeah, wooden doors. Yeah, and then cellar.
Yeah,
And then he pulls
trying
them
to talk
open.
about, yeah.
You pull at the other door and it's just as tough, but now you have confidence you'll fling it open in half the time. You stare down into the cellar. The cement stairs lead into darkness. Well, this isn't creepy at all. Are you coming? Oh no, this is like a mimic or something, isn't it? I don't know.
A girl?
Like, are you coming? It's someone mimicking a voice. Like she was like, help me, but then it's like,
Yeah.
are you here yet? Well, there's no turning back now. You suppose you take a few steps down the stairs, and your eyes are able to adjust to the darkness as more steps materialize before you. Then you see her or it. You stop on the third step down, about 5 more steps away, sitting in the shadow. You see a toy doll that resembles a little girl. She has red hair and pigtails and is wearing a red dress to match her hair. Red dress is like
Eleanor.
Her face, legs, and arms are bone white, and she has a blood red nose and crimson circles on her cheeks.
Or baby.
So that's a
Eleanor
circus nose, and then circles. I don't know. Her entire appearance is unnerving. She is silent.
It's Eleanor's ball pit.
Hello, you call out.
figure
Is
she makes
anyone
appearance at some
there?
point.
Maybe the girl who owns the doll is trapped further in the darkness. Please help me. The voice sounds like it's coming from the doll, but that makes no sense. Then again, time travel and creepy rabbit mascots also make no sense. Fair enough. You're seriously freaked out and you're so done with this rescue mission. Abort, abort. You turn around. The rabbit is there standing above you. So that's like Baby working with William almost.
Yeah.
You stare at it for a moment and then it shoves you hard. You fall down all the steps onto the cement floor, cracking your head against it. You can feel something wet and warm oozing from beneath you. The rabbit starts to walk down the stairs towards you, backlit by the bright sunshine outside. He's a giant silhouette looming. You hear the sound of laughter beside you, high-pitched giggling. You turn your head to look at the doll. She sits there perfectly still, but the laughter gets louder and louder. Her head suddenly snaps to look at you. You struggle to get away. The rabbit is there. It attacks. You feel sharp, cold pain and scream out.
Okay, I'm gonna say this is like a new character, almost.
Like Eleanor Baby or whatever?
It's Eleanor, but I don't think Eleanor has a red nose.
No.
And she's not really like a doll. She's about...
She's described as like
she's
like
little girl sized.
long-necked as well.
She's long necked. She's the size. She's not... You see a toy doll that resembles a little girl.
Yeah.
Eleanor is a person
No, she's a
size.
woman. Yeah, yeah.
This is a new character.
That's something new for sure.
It's
And
Ella, right?
Again, I'm like, I want to be excited. I just don't care about Eleanor. I just don't care about baby. So baby Eleanor, I don't care. Combine the two, I still don't care.
It feels like the Ella doll, like, corrupted by William, right?
Yeah, it feels like William
Like,
took over the
if he got
Charlie.
a hold of the Ella doll, he was trying to get a hold of the Ella doll the whole trilogy, and he just doesn't get a hold of it.
Yeah.
So is that what would happen if he had? He would turn it into a clown as well? What an asshole.
So what happens if we just leave? Do we go into 1985? You run out of the alley and find yourself in the middle of Main Street, out of breath and overwhelmed. You wheel in a circle in place. Everything looks the same but also a bit different. The old boarded up buildings look clean and have shops in them. Windows are washed. The front of the arcade extends out of the building next to where Jeff's Pizza is in the future or the present or whatever any of this is. Suddenly time moves forward around you like someone pressed a fast forward button. The world blurs and speeds past and you can barely make out what you're seeing. Cars and people and day and night over and over with dizzying haste, and then it stops.
Oh, it's like
You look around and then see Jeff's is back. The arcade is boarded up. The windows and stores look dull and lifeless, but as you're familiar with. And yet you aren't annoyed by it all like you usually are because you realise you're back in your own time. Relief washes over
without the use of the ball pit.
Yeah, I just went back to his time.
I mean, he is travelling using the ball pit, so...
Relief washes over you and you walk over to Jeff's and out of the sidewalk, but then you see a reflection of yourself in the window. Your hair has flecks of grey and your hairline is so far up your forehead it's basically at the back of your head.
Travelling without the ball
Your face
pit.
is lined, it hits you hard then. Not only has the world around you aged, but so have you. You're now old, like in your 40s.
Oh, man. This is exactly like Didophobia.
No.
This is exactly like...
He's like, I'm old. I'm like, me too, bud.
This is exactly what we said, which was that,
For anybody
like,
that's listening that isn't in their 30s or 40s, this is exactly what it's like. You turn around and you go, oh shit, I'm 40, how'd that happen?
But no, this is what we had said, where it seems like there's situations like where people think that they're trapped in the past in a loop, and like they can repeat the same day or the same week over and over again.
Like they are older than they realize. They think they're a kid.
Yeah, they think, oh, I've just stayed a kid forever. Time didn't never pass for me. It's great that this magic time loop works this way.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, it's like it doesn't work that way. 40 years past, you are 40.
For me, it's just again that weird thing. Like if the crying child died when he did. He might think he's still a child, but actually the implication seems to be that he's like 40. Like even in like Security Breach, there's a 40th birthday party, and that's the one that the kids are at, sitting at the table, and it's like, yay, 40, and it's like,
Not to get too controversial with this, well, I'm not sure. So I think Scott has like kind of a mechanism, an inbuilt mechanism. There's a problem, like. All right, so the kids die, right? And they're 7 or whatever, and then they stay as ghosts for like 50 years, and then 50 years later we see the kids again and they're still like kid ghosts or whatever. But are they kid ghosts? And some of them seem more aware than the others. Like Charlie seems aware, even though, but she has like a child's voice.
We definitely have ghosts that have adult voices, like Chica, for instance.
So I wonder if Scott's inbuilt a mechanism here where the ghosts can become aware, grow up, realize where there can be like adult versions of the ghosts now.
Yeah, I think there's a weird potential where they can come awake and then they're like, oh wow, I'm like an adult, which I think that seems to be the implication, but I don't know, we'll see.
And as well, there was problems as well with like I don't know, like the in the novels there's like different versions of Charlie, like an adult version, a teenage version, a younger version. That's with robots and different things, but so those can also exist simultaneously. Like there can be child versions of the character and adult versions of the character. I don't know if that's what we're seeing in the current lore with like Vanessa, for instance, but
it's really confusing. We need Scott to clear it up before we can even hazard what the
fuck
is going on.
I feel like that this mechanism's in here where he's stated a few times where they can think they're a kid a long time and then be like, oh no.
Your stomach twists and turns in a panic, and then you see Dad coming to pick you up at the restaurant like he has every day this summer. You see him go inside and hear him ask where you are. You approach the pizzeria and go inside. What do you mean he was here a minute ago? Where is he now? Dad asks, looking a little panicked. You have to say something, do something. You approach them. Okay, so I know this sounds weird, but I'm actually right here, you say to Jeff and Dad. They both stare at you like they have no idea who you are. Look, it's me, Oswald. I travelled through time. Even as you say it, you don't need to see their freaked out expressions. They think you're crazy, and honestly, you think you might be crazy too. Sir, I think it's best if you left, Dad says in that tone he says for serious moments. Dad, it's me, you insist. Leave now, says Jeff. He has his phone at the ready to call the cops. You don't know what to do other than do what they say, so you leave and
That's
cross the
sad.
street,
That's
hiding yourself
devastating.
behind a small group of trees to observe and wait. You watch as there's a panic when you aren't found. Police come, Dad speaks to them, Jeff speaks to them. You wonder what Mom will think when she finds out about all this. You can't do anything to help, even though you're probably the most helpful person in the town for all this. No one will believe you. You're not even sure you believe you. So you just continue to watch, to experience, to feel useless. You observe it all.
I believe this because he and his dad are not all that close,
Yeah.
actually.
Mom hears the news about you and is devastated. It seems like a whole town tried to find you. Posters go up and eventually fade. Your dad is on the news. You've become a missing person. You are never found, even though you're right here.
That's
You are right
interesting.
here. You live your life from this point on as your older self with a different name, and no one ever knows what happened to you.
Weird. Okay. I'm here for this.
Old Oswald.
Weird twist here, Scott.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was weird.
I feel like if someone was really close, they would know. You know, you kind of look like yourself, even if you look at pictures of a kid and
like,
look at
you
adult
look
pictures.
like, yeah, it's not like, oh, you're a stranger. It's not like his dad went, wow, you've got no hair, I can't recognize you anymore. You know, like, yeah, I think it's just the fact that they didn't connect properly.
Devastating.
You're like so upset about this ending,
I am
like
upset.
disconnected forever feelings. But it's okay.
He didn't have anyone that cared enough about him to like be like, yeah, it's you.
Yeah, he's just like, I'm here, Lily, I don't care. Right, so neither of these are good
Nobody
ends.
in FNAF can recognize anybody, so that's real.
So this one leads to nothing but bad ends. This one. So this one's next, I guess.
But interesting ends.
Yeah,
I hadn't seen those.
I mean, bad ends as in like bad for him. You're careful not to draw attention to yourself as you re-enter the restaurant. It's not too hard since everyone's still running around screaming. You hear the names being called out again, and then you wonder, are those the names of the kids you just saw? Tell us what the names are, Oswald. Of the dead kids sitting on the floor in the storage closet.
So interestingly, because I feel like the name Susie was called out somewhere.
Not in this yet.
Not in this.
You should tell someone, anyone, call the cops, talk to an adult. Where are Chip and Mike? They'd listen to you, they'd trust you. He should, maybe in the future version of him, he should find Chip and Mike.
Yeah.
And then he can be friends with them as middle-aged
I know.
as well.
Yeah, his other friends suck.
You've made it to the pit and dare to look over your shoulder to see if the rabbit has followed you. It isn't anywhere to be seen. You quickly climb into the ball pit. So that one takes you to the ball pit. So does the other one?
Oh, you gotta go into the ball pit. Regardless.
You rush through the chaos and realise you're now running around and freaking out just like every other patron. How fun it is to fit in. Not now, sarcastic brain. You glance over your shoulder, but the rabbit isn't coming after you. You aren't about to take any chances and actually speed up. Stupid hiccups. You're full on sprinting towards the ball pit as if you're determined to get first prize in a race. You make it and dive in like it's a pool, but head first, even though you have no idea how deep it's going to be this time.
It's the graphic novel.
So your hand grabs something small and solid as you reach downward, pulling yourself into the pit. It's hard to see in the dark swirling colours, but you know you're supposed to look at it. Even in the panic and fear, something about this thing in your hand matters. You look at it closely. It's half of a Freddy token,
That's
but
weird.
this one is gold. You haven't seen one of these before. There's something in your memory that tells you you've heard of a gold token before but can't remember. This is ridiculous. Why are you worried about a stupid half piece of plastic? None of this is important right now. You need to get back to your time. You put the half in your pocket. If you started the game with half a Freddy token, you now have a whole Freddy token. You start your count to 100. So this version gets us the other half of the Freddy token.
I see.
So if we went straight to the pit, this is the one. So this was one that we were going to do anyway. This is the right one, the middle one.
Yep.
So Freddy token.
So okay. So in the original book, in the end of the pit book, I didn't say any names. I don't think we're for calling out names. That we were recognized. In the graphic novel, there's a panel where it's like, Susie, where are you? Somebody help. That was added in, oddly, only in the graphic novel.
Yeah. You finally emerge back in your time in the dusty ball pit at Jeff's. Oh, how blissful it is not to hear screaming, to smell the dank aroma, to feel the heavy weight of grease in the air. You're home in your stupid, boring time. Maybe boring isn't such a bad thing. It's better than dead kids and chaos, that's for sure. Your wave of relief is quickly replaced by a heated feeling of panic when you notice your dad walking around the restaurant booth looking for you. Shoot, he's early. Dad spots you and marches over. Oswald, what are you doing? I was just in the ball pit, which is pretty much the most obvious thing ever to say. Dad looks seriously annoyed. I've been looking for you, calling your name and everything, and you've been hiding in a dirty old ball pit. Why would you waste my time like that? Look, you can just be like, no, he's a sucky dad. I'm going back in the ball pit.
Back to the pit. Return to the pit. That's the name of the game, right? That's the name of the, that's the
this
name
is
of the
terrible.
thing.
He's just
Return to the pit.
he's like, he comes out, his dad's like, blah, 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 blah.
And
He's
you're
like,
like,
never mind. He's
just
like,
you like
oh,
rolls your eyes and just falls back into the 2 balls that he was complaining about.
Yeah, look, you dive back into the pit and away from Dad. You feel a little guilty and almost immediately decide you're going to turn back around and face the music. You shouldn't just ignore him like that. He doesn't deserve it. Just as you're about to turn around, you suddenly find yourself face to face with the giant yellow rabbit mascot. You have no idea what it's doing there, and you're stunned, too shocked to move or say anything. It reaches out for you and grabs you hard, pulling you down further into the pit. Deeper and deeper, it draws you in close, and then, though it's hard to see, it opens its mouth wide, revealing rows of razor-sharp teeth. You struggle and cry out, Dad, but it's too late. The rabbit bites down hard. Yeah, so the rabbit eats you if you leave. So
That is a hungry rabbit. Someone needs to feed him.
I know.
Oswald, bring a bag of rabbit treats.
Rabbit treats.
We should have done that first
It's a carnivorous rabbit like me though, so it wouldn't work.
Bring a bag of jerky.
Yeah, jerky maybe. You stand up in the pit as Dad marches over.
Pizza. We haven't tried feeding him pizza
I
yet.
bet he likes pizza.
Jeff gives us so much pizza
I know.
too. Put that right in our pocket.
Jeff is giving us a clue. He's like, feed the bunny the pizza, it will be happy.
Yeah, he keeps giving us extra.
You feed it a pizza and it just turns into like a normal spring bonnie suit, and he's like, oh, I needed that.
He's so mad.
It's like, you're not hungry. Yourself when you're hungry.
Yeah, it's like, William. Jeff like keeps giving us like 10 extra slices of pizza.
Like,
we're like shoves them all in our mouth.
He's like, an extra slice for you. What were you thinking, hiding in that nasty old thing? He said, didn't you hear me calling you? Sorry,
yeah,
I was distracted, you say as you climb out. Distracted is putting it mildly. Dad does not seem impressed by that excuse. He shakes his head at you.
Throw one of the balls at him.
Pretty sure you were ignoring me. You haven't been very nice to me lately, and I don't think I deserved this.
Yes, you did.
You had me really worried. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, like, what did he do?
We've seen all the endings. You ignore us.
Yeah,
you left us for dead.
He's a bad dad, so it's fine. Yeah, like in the game, like Oswald's dad is actually really nice and wholesome, and he's like wants the best for this guy, less so.
If we turn into a future version of ourselves, you would just leave us out of our house.
Just feel like, I don't know who you are. I'm calling the cops. Lower your eyes. You don't want to admit he's right, but he has no idea what you've just been through in 1985, and you don't think you can control your emotions enough right now not to cry.
Yeah, we went through a hard time. We saw a bunch of dead kids,
closely.
And you don't even care.
Look how dirty this is. Your mother. Suddenly, a pair of yellow arms launches through the balls and grabs Dad around his torso. You cry out and leap back as Dad is pulled into the pit and is completely submerged. There's chaos under the balls, and you see your dad kick out his. I know they say the word balls too much in this story. I can't. I'm too like immature to handle it. You see your dad kick out his leg, but then it falls back under. You finally snap out of your shock and quietly dive. Look, shock
snap
mention.
Out of me.
Shock mention. And quickly dive out of the pit, pulling balls out of the way while trying to dig for him.
I'm
dying. Has he been pulled into the past? Dad, you cry out, Dad, are you okay? A pair of ratty, large yellow ears emerges from the pit, followed by those eyes, dead and soulless. Those eyes you know way too well now. The rabbit mascot stares at you, the rest of its face and body still submerged. You stare back. Fear has got you in its grasp. It feels both cold and hot, and now you've forgotten how to breathe. You stumble back and grab onto the edge of the pit.
I think Rabbit should be our new dad. He's never let us down like old Dad did.
Yeah, the rabbit rises slowly.
He's just hungry.
Yeah. The rabbit rises slowly, standing tall and looming over you.
Murderous.
It stares out into the restaurant, and then with a sharp, sudden movement, it's staring down at you. You scramble backwards, pulling yourself over the edge of the pit and falling onto the floor, your legs sticking out from under you as you try to get yourself to standing. The rabbit walks towards you, stepping out of the pit easily, and it still comes for you. You want to scream, you need to, at least yell for help, but you can't as you're now paralysed with fear. You stop trying to stand, you just stare. The rabbit continues to loom over you. Then it extends its hand as if to help you up. You can't take it. You certainly don't want to take it. But you feel that familiar pull at your middle, and for some reason, you take its hand.
I feel like we're getting mixed messages off this rabbit.
You are brought to standing. You now stare at each other, and finally you have the ability to speak.
Mixed
What did you do
messages.
to my dad? The yellow hand clamps hard around your wrist, and the rabbit turns and pulls you along behind him. You try to break free, but its grasp is too tight. Jeff emerges from the kitchen as you pass by the counter. See you later, guys, he says in his classic monotone.
He speaks in monotone?
He's like, see you later, guys. Does he not see the giant yellow rabbit kidnapping you? Next time I'll get you a slice to go. He's like, you should have used the slice.
My theory is that he does see the rabbit.
Yeah, I think he
Jeff-
does. I think
Jeff can
Jeff's
see it.
just like, bye.
He's
Have
like,
a nice
okay.
evening. You turn to look at the ball pit, hoping Dad is
He's
pulling
like,
himself
it's that
out.
guy.
But he's still in there somewhere. How can you just leave him behind? Well, it's not like you have much of a choice. You're dragged out of Jeff's into the daylight. You flinch at how bright it is. The rabbit does too, releasing its grip slightly on your wrist. It hasn't totally let you go, but maybe you can wiggle your hand through and escape. He's like, I've not been outside in a while. He's like, oh.
Everybody's like, oh.
It's like basement rabbit. Right, so
Obviously we go with him in the
yeah,
canon.
so let's do the knot. Let's run away or whatever. So 5, 6.
Leaving the city. Grab his keys.
His keys, the rabbit. Where does he keep the keys?
In his pocket. In his rabbit pocket.
No comment. You run as fast as you can away from the rabbit down the street, skidding as you take the next corner. You're not sure why you're running. Home? Maybe you can make it to Mum's working time or the
Leave the
police.
city.
You're in a panic mode and know you need to get as much space between you and that thing as
Gonna
you
join
can.
the circus.
There's a loud screech of tire on asphalt. Oh my god, the rabbit's chasing it. And you look over your shoulder to see Dad's car following you fast. The rabbit's in the driver's seat. He's like, get that fucking kid. You run faster as the car chases you through town. The place is so empty there are basically no witnesses, or at least no one seems interested in helping a kid being mowed down by a maniacal
They're like, oh, it's his
rabbit
dad,
driving
it's
a
fine.
car. You keep running and running, but you're getting tired, and there's no way you're fast in the car. It's like do 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 do. You can't outrun a car. The car plows over you. He's like, the kid was in my way.
I told you we should have taken that car.
That's hilarious. That's peak. That's the
He can
best
walk.
ending. That's the best ending so far. The Midnight Motorist ending, where he just plows Oswald over in the car. What the fuck? What the hell? I can see why people were like, what? They're like, I'm gonna learn the lore, and I'm like, now we're even more confused than we were before, but who cares? Right, so, okay, let's not do that then, because we'll get run down. So we can get in the car. It's probably safer in the car. You climb into the passenger seat like always, and the car takes off faster than Dad ever normally drives. Your heart is in your throat, and the fear is overwhelming, like it's wrapping itself around you, holding you tight. But this doesn't feel like a hug. It's more like a boa constrictor slowly squeezing you to death.
Aww.
You glance to your left. You don't want to make eye contact or stare, and you
Oswald
certainly
really
don't want
has
to
a
make
thing
it
against
obvious.
hugs.
I know.
He's like, if I get that hug ending, he's like, any other ending.
Wow, my head glitches out like crazy when I put the bottle up. Yeah, like, you glance to your left, you don't want to make eye contact or stare, and you certainly don't want to make it obvious you're looking.
Okay.
The rabbit is staring
We're
out
shy.
the front windshield, those empty eyes, seemingly observing the empty
Just
street.
look at him. I mean, you're already in the car together.
Where is it taking you? Why is this happening? Is Dad still alive?
Ask him questions.
I know, what is Henry's surname?
It's all right. The rabbit doesn't talk anyway.
It does in the game though. It says like, I always come back or whatever. Like, yeah. He actually does say like the words though. He
I know,
says
I know.
like, yeah, but yeah, and also goes. His laugh is great. The boa constrictor squeezes tighter. Please let Dad be alive. Please don't let that last conversation you guys ever have be some stupid, angry one. You're so over stupid, angry conversations. You feel so guilty.
I'm over Oswald's dad, so I don't care.
I
what
know,
happens
it's
to
fine.
him.
I don't miss him. I'm like, can we just keep the rabbit? He's really funny and he runs people over. The rabbit stops at the one traffic light. That stupid, pointless light. Obviously, no cars are coming from any direction. And
Yeah,
yet this freaky
completely
rabbit
pointless.
costume guy obeys the rules of the road, even when it's pointless.
Yeah, we've never been like killed.
I wish there was an option here where like he went too fast and got arrested by the police, and they had to deal with like a big silent rabbit suit, and we're like,
He's like, Dad got arrested today. The
They're like, do you
rabbit's
have
like,
anything to
hey.
say for yourself? And he just looks at them, and they're like, this one knows what you're supposed to do. They're like, do you need a lawyer? And he's like, just looks at them. Why is that something you're thinking about? You should jump out of the car now
Oh,
while you have a chance.
Oswald, what?
You need to escape to get some help or save Dad. Yet why does it feel pointless? Like even if you tried, the rabbit would catch you.
I don't know, maybe because we've
Because
done
it
this a
will.
bunch.
I know. I'm like, why?
Maybe
Why
it
could
is.
we possibly think the rabbit would catch us? Is he gonna run him over? That just straight up
He just straight to
you.
the. He just goes right under the wheels.
That's so funny. So we jump out the car and he just goes whoop, bang, just like reverses and then runs over Oswald like there.
Okay.
He's like, I told you not to leave the car.
That one's on us.
You feel the heavy hope. Just stay where you are, dude. The light finally turns green, and you continue on your journey. You realise as you go that the rabbit is taking the same route Dad always does to get home. Wait, is it taking you back to your house? Why? And how does the rabbit know the way home?
These are good questions.
Just another question to add to the pile in the pile that he's not asking as he takes
Scott's
every
like,
correct turn
yeah,
and
that's a
pulls
good
up
one.
in front of your house. You thought for sure this was a classic kidnapping scenario, but does a kidnapper usually take a kid right to their own front door?
No, it's weirder than that.
He's coming in to bang your mom. To be
a
fair,
classic scenario. He's like, I'm taking the full dad package.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, maybe. And definitely zero experience with yellow rabbit mascots who attack dads and drag you across town with them. You're led inside your own home and your cat Jinx wanders up in that way she always does. Like, she doesn't care that you finally came home, she just happened to be passing by the front door the second you showed up. But instead of flopping onto your side for scratches, her tail turns pinecone poofy and she hisses at the rabbit, running away like you probably should have in the car. No, you should not have. We know you should not have.
The cat's kind of an interesting thing for William's family.
You
You
have
have that.
Jinx
You have
well.
those. You have
Bonnie
that black
cat
poster.
You've got the black cat and the Immortal and the Restless as well.
Elizabeth draws a cat, I think, in the graphic
novels. The Immortal and the
novels.
Restless, where they say hair stands up like
the cat, and that's a black cat as well.
Yeah.
You're right. So, and then he eats the cat.
Yeah.
The baby eats the cat. I don't know. So there's several things. I don't know if the Aftons had a cat that something tragic happened to, but maybe.
This whole situation is seriously freaky. It also makes you determined again to get out of it. I'm just gonna go in my room, you explain to the rabbit, who just stares back at you. But it lets you go, and you dart up the stairs to your room as fast as you can, closing the door behind you. You're alone and safe for now.
Now I want
time
pizza.
to set a plan, any plan, into motion. You need to get away from the rabbit as fast as possible. If you go to your window and open it to escape, if you send your mom a text that it's an emergency and she has to come home right now.
This is interesting because
you can do both of these in the game.
Yeah, one of them. No, yeah, one thing happens in the book and one thing's happened in the game.
Yeah.
I think
so
we
let's
should
do
try
the game.
window.
Too late.
Okay.
Because she doesn't do anything. Mom comes home 15 minutes later.
No, that progresses it, doesn't it?
I mean, we can go back and see what the other one is.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on. And this one. Alright, okay. You cross your bedroom and carefully open your window. You look down. Man, 2 stories somehow looks way taller from up here than it does on the ground. Are you really about to do this? Yeah, because in the game you need a ladder, I'm pretty sure.
Mm-hmm.
Escape for your house by going out the window. You've seen enough movies to know people do it all the time. Or maybe that's a lie to make a story sound more interesting. Well, what other choices do you have? It's this or what? Try to escape through the door with the rabbit in the house? Nah, that's not a good idea. You examine the drop below you. There's a wooden trellis that runs under your window into the ground that could probably work as a kind of ladder. Yes, it's worth the risk. You've officially made up your mind. No turning back now. You're going to sneak out and go to Jeff's and save Dad. There's no time to waste. You carefully climb through the window and hold onto the sill as you lower yourself down enough so that your toe hits the first hole in the trellis. It feels secure enough, so you do the same with your other foot. That feels secure as well. Okay, this might actually work. Maybe the movies sometimes contain good ideas? Now you just have to let go of the windowsill. Crack. The trellis was not built to handle your full weight. It snaps beneath you and you slip, falling to the ground and breaking your neck.
I believe that in Coming Home,
Yeah, she tries to climb
Samantha
down
tries to
and
climb the
falls.
trellis, and she has a scar on her somewhere on her eyebrow or something from that.
Yeah,
Susie
and also like
convincing her
someone
to
just
climb.
dies. Remember, like she falls and dies, and then she opens the door just in time to see her dead.
That's in Pizza Kit.
Yeah,
Where she
like
tries
that
to
happens
cough
as
where she
well.
falls down.
Yeah.
Anyway, a classic Scott Cawthon death.
Yeah, he's like everyone always be falling out of windows.
He's like, children, please stop climbing.
Yeah, he's got enough
on
kids
the
to know that you
trellis.
have to stop them from climbing out of windows periodically. Drunk people too. I was at a party one time and someone was like, I'm going to go sit on the windowsill. And they were completely drunk. And they went and they stuck their legs at the window and someone had to like physically pull them back into the room. I was like, what the hell? This was like teenagers. You know what I mean? Just idiots. Just absolute idiots. Right. Mom comes home 15 minutes later. You hear her open the front door and slam it shut. Okay, so maybe she isn't quite as calm as you thought she'd be. You're usually the only door slammer in the family. You wait in your room for her to appear, but it seems to take her forever. She's making out with a rabbit. For a second, you worry the rabbit has gotten her too, and you feel like such an idiot not warning her about it in the text. But finally, after what feels like forever, she opens the door. Oswald, what's wrong? Her eyes are wide and she looks almost like she's going to cry. Oh, that's not good. You definitely don't want to make her cry. But you also have to tell her the truth. She needs to know, as awful as it is. It's Dad. He's... How exactly do you explain it? The fear and panic you've been holding deep inside you is welling up, overwhelming you. It's hard to explain. What about Dad? What about Dad? He's gone, you finally eke out. What do you mean, gone? She reaches up and pushes your hair back for your forehead,
gone,
and you
Daddy,
realise
gone. The love is gone.
Just then that you're a sweaty mess. He's at Jeff's. He's in an affair with Jeff.
Oh no! Oh, Dad's gone. He's with Jeff. Oh no!
He's at Jeff's. She's like, I know, son. I know. You can't explain it, but you have to. Honey,
No,
are you okay?
I can't explain it.
Dad's here. I just saw him. He's taking a nap in our room.
Okay.
You don't fully understand what she said. It doesn't make sense. Dad is definitely not home. He's deep beneath the surface of a ball pit. Maybe in the past. Maybe dead.
Well, deep's a little.
You know this for a fact. Or do you? You think hard to yourself. When would he have come home? You would have heard the front door like when Mom came home, but also why would she lie? Maybe you've been so distracted and you missed it. Maybe now here was a thought. Maybe the rabbit thing wasn't real. Maybe it was Dad all along, just like Jeff implied. Maybe you are going crazy and just seeing rabbits everywhere.
That was
Not
rabbit.
that would be a good thing, but it would be better than something bad having happened to Dad. He's okay, you ask? He's home? Mom nods. She looks worried and now holds the back of her hand to your forehead. Does she think you're sick and have a fever? You're not sick. You're just... Maybe, actually. You think about 1985. You remember the screams. You remember the dead kids. It feels all like a horrible nightmare. And maybe... Well, maybe that's what it was. That's what it was. Maybe you fell asleep in the pit somehow. Just the fusty smell of old feet knocked him right the fuck out.
I don't think so, buddy.
Or maybe you're just imagining things. Maybe you do have some kind of fever. How about you get some rest? School starts tomorrow, and I think you might have been overexerting yourself a bit today. School, yes. School does start tomorrow. How did the summer pass so quickly? Well, 1985 helped, but was it real? Had any of it happened? You feel very tired suddenly. And even though you haven't had dinner yet, you really just want to go to bed. You nod. Yeah, okay, that's a good idea. Mom smiles at you. And Dad's really just napping in the other room? Dad's really just napping. This weight lifts off your chest, and even though you don't feel quite happy, the relief is enough to make you super sleepy. Mom leaves and you go to bed. You sleep through dinner and all the way to your alarm going off for school the next morning. Alarm. I'm like that word. Like burglar alarm.
Oh what? My god! Oh no, go keep going.
You wake up feeling refreshed, feeling hopeful. 1985 seems like just a
bad dream, like the song.
Yeah,
right. Isn't that the Into the Pit song? Don't you think that Scott referenced that on purpose?
I think
he does reference
1985 is just a bad
like
dream.
A bad dream.
Yeah,
or whatever. Yeah,
it is. It totally is. That's definitely a stupid reference. Plus, you're starving and you can smell breakfast.
You can open it on that
kitchen. What?
You can open it on the other screen.
How can I open it on the other screen?
Drag the Kindle over to the right.
Yeah, that's a good
plus a tab.
But now I won't be able to get it back where it was, and it'll annoy the hell out of me.
Then move the Kindle back.
Yeah, but I won't be in the right spot anymore. See? It's going to be off center and it will drive me nuts. It was in the right spot and now it's kind of awkwardly
didn't
not.
know that I didn't know about that you'd arranged
My
things
OCD
carefully.
thing. Yeah, I did. And now it's going to be off center. I know, like, yeah, I'm just trying to find what one it was. Wonderland?
CG5.
Yeah. Yeah, down this corridor of pain and lunacy, come with me. 1985 just feels like a bad dream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, and it's like come with me. 1985 was
Wonderland.
never a bad dream. Bad dream. Yeah, that.
Yeah,
But
that's,
yeah,
that's the main. For
that's
sure.
funny. Yeah.
You should let CG5 know.
I'd be like, there's a nod to your song.
Yeah.
I don't know how you can't even contact CG5 because everybody just bullies the shit out of him. So he doesn't have like a Twitter or anything, I don't think.
Does he have a Blue Sky?
No, I don't. I think he doesn't like people contacting him because everybody is, for some reason, like excruciatingly horrible to him.
That's
like,
sad.
Let's see, Oswald. Right, so where am I? This next door. This is.
We're past this.
We're past this, yeah. 1985 seems like a bad dream.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, you're starving and you can smell breakfast floating up for the kitchen. You practically skip downstairs and see Mom standing over some eggs and bacon frying on the stove. Nothing has ever looked so tasty in your life. Morning, you say. Morning, she replies with, you look very well rested. I am. You turn with a grin to the table to find your seat, and there in Dad's spot, holding Dad's paper with Dad's mug of coffee sitting beside him, is the yellow rabbit, just sitting there. You feel dizzy. You have to hold on to the top of your chair to steady yourself. Where's Dad, you ask? Fear grips at your throat and you barely manage to get the words out. What do you mean, silly? He's right there, says Mom, pointing at the rabbit with her spatula. She shakes her head and turns back to the bacon. Honestly, Oswald, this is getting a little much. I don't understand the missing Dad game, but it's time for some breakfast and to get ready for school. You don't know what to do. You only know deep in your gut you have to play it.
The pancakes.
That's my favourite.
Papa Bear's Pancake House.
Yeah, that I'm like,
Bear's
I'm glad
Family
someone
Diner.
drew that. I'm like, that one was the one that I drew as well. Where is it? Pretty sure it was like, it's one of my favourite scenes because yeah, he's like sitting there with like the orange juice and stuff. Yeah, see, like I was like draws that scene as well. He's like pours them stuff.
Now, I guess just to curb my own so there's an alt path here, and I know we're gearing up for it.
No,
yep.
I don't care. So, I don't want to know.
I won't say.
You've spoiled it just by saying that it's there.
No. But I'm just saying for like my reactions as far as that goes.
This isn't a game. She has to understand. If you explain to her what happened, and the rabbit is sitting right there. So, and this is what he does in the book, isn't it? Where he just is like, I guess it's my dad. And this is if he points it out.
Yep.
I know this isn't a game. You shout. You need her to understand. You point at the rabbit. That's not Dad. That's a giant yellow rabbit, and it hurt Dad. It did something bad to him. He's trapped in the ball pit at Jeff's Pizza. Mom is staring at you like you're crazy, and maybe you are. Maybe the stuff in the pit didn't happen. Maybe 1985 didn't happen. But all you know right now is it feels super real, and all you can do is deal with the situation in the moment. You know you sound crazy, but that is also part of the current situation you need to deal with. Sit down now, your mom orders. The rabbit stands ominously. It stares at you. It raises its hand and points to you. I don't know what he means, but you know it's a threat.
He wants a boop.
Oh, if we do that to Darcy, if we say you and point to him, he just goes and closes his eyes and he's like, give me a boop. He just wants a boop. And then he'll boop your finger and you're like, I can't stay mad at this. You don't know what he means, but you know it's a threat. No, you pick up the thing closest to you, which happens to be a pancake from the stack, and throw it at the rabbit. The rabbit takes a step back and sits down hard on its chair.
Finally.
Oswald, you grab another pancake and another.
Yes.
The rabbit is distracted and seems almost as confused as you are. Oh my god, I have a whole scene where William gets thrown at a pancake.
He's a bunny with a pancake on his head. Is the Scott memeing? Like that's one of like
the rabbit is distracted
memes.
And seems almost as confused as you are. You run out of pancakes and take advantage of his moment of confusion and run like heck out of the kitchen, down the hall and out of the house. You stand on the lawn, panting, freaking out. Now what? He's critically weak to pancakes. I'm like, my William gets thrown out of pancake house, but yeah, also like yeah.
I'm like, finally, we're throwing things at him. Finally, it's pancakes. I didn't see that.
Yeah, it's a common thing. Yeah, it's this ancient millennial meme. It's this one like
Yeah.
that I have no idea what to say. He hears a bunny with a pancake on its head.
Yes.
Like this is a vintage millennial
It's a gold
meme.
bunny too.
Yeah, vintage memes is what that is. Yeah, I'm like, yeah, old school. It's so funny that he just threw pancakes at him and he was like, oh man, whoa, I didn't think you were going to resort to the pancakes. Like, sits down. I'm like, dude, what the hell? Yeah, he's a big wuss. If you decide to run next door for help, tap or touch here. If you decide to go to Jeff's, or next door. Who's his next door neighbour? I'll go bother his next door neighbour. There's no time to lose. You don't even bother running down to the street to the sidewalk. No, you cut across your lawn, jump across the short hedges that separate the two houses, and barrel up the steps to the dark green front door of your neighbour's. Well, dark green's interesting. You knock loudly, insistently. Someone has to be home. Please, please let someone be home.
Who lives next to Oswald?
Yeah, the door opens, but it's definitely not Mr. or Mrs. Brown.
Brown
mascot is standing in front of you. This time it's not a rabbit, but a large chicken. Chica, you say out loud. You've learned the names of the Freddy animatronic band members well by now. Freddy the bear, Bonnie the purple rabbit, and Chica the chicken.
Obviously, we're in the current time. It makes absolutely no sense for Chica to be here.
No. Wearing that way too cheerful let's eat bib and holding that way too pink cupcake with the eyes and buck teeth.
Mr. Cupcake was our next door neighbor.
Yeah, again, this is Chica and the cupcake.
Yay.
And Chica gets associated with Charlie shit all the time, and she's holding the cupcake. I'm like, and neighbor next door neighbours.
Yep.
Chica cocks its head to the side as you stare in horror. Slowly you back away, one foot behind the other, staring into the hollow empty eyes of the yellow bird. You look at the Let's Eat slogan. There's something terrifyingly gruesome about that. You feel sick to your stomach, you don't know what's going on. Maybe this truly is a nightmare. Maybe you'll wake up. Wake up, Oswald, wake up. Suddenly you're grabbed from behind by two very familiar yellow arms. You have almost no time to register what's happening as both the chick and the rabbit descend upon you. All you feel is a terrible sharp pain and the world swims in your vision. So this one you get killed by Chica and the yellow rabbit.
But it makes no sense for Chica to be there.
No, definitely. Like, why would she be next door unless it's some kind of weird fictional world that's in his head anyway?
Wake Up we see in Security Breach as well.
Yeah. Let's go to Jeff's. You race down the front path to the sidewalk and then run as fast as you can down the street. 2 seconds, I stand up. My knee gets very stiff, so if I look like I'm dead, that's why. The house is blurring your peripheral vision, and you feel a bit like a cartoon character running down an infinite hallway of repeating tables and paintings. House after house, lawn after lawn, hydrant after hydrant. Man, Jeff's is quite far away on foot. This is interesting as well, that he's got like a weird kind of like repeating suburban... Oops, sorry, my leg. Stupid.
Do you want to take a break for your knee?
Yeah, I'll take a second, because my leg just cramped up, and that's bad.